episode has been brought to you by Schedulicity.
Hello and welcome to the Connected Yoga Teacher Podcast. I feel like this is the April Fool's episode. Yes, it's a few days late if you're listening in real time, but it is a good one if you are here for a laugh together. If you are new here, I'm your host, Shannon Crow. I've been a yoga teacher for over 15 years while raising my 3 kids who are quickly becoming young adults and who have also been my best teachers. Over the years, I've learned a lot as an entrepreneur and as a yoga teacher, and at one point I was teaching 16 classes a week, managing a yoga studio, running a yoga school, and a Thai yoga massage business. And I got to the point of burnout, not only mentally and physically, but also financially. When I finally figured out more about niching down and building a full-time yoga business, other yoga teachers started to ask me how they could do the same. Through this work that I did then with hundreds of yoga teachers, I realized that many of us need resources on building a sustainable business that are also rooted in the teachings and values of yoga. And that's when this podcast was born, so that you can stay connected to the information and inspiration that will support you each and every week as you build your own unique yoga business. Before we dive right into this episode today, Connected Yoga Teachers, I want to tell you about a pelvic girdle pain workshop that I'm hosting on April the 7th, 2021. If you're listening and it's beyond April the 7th, don't worry, there's a replay. You can still sign up for the replay. This workshop is for any yoga teacher working with yoga students who say, my hips are tight, my hips are sore, my pelvis is sore, my SI joint is out, my sciatica is kicking up. I really want to give an overall general view of pelvic girdle pain. And there are some huge things that we can do as yoga teachers and movements and practices that we can share with our yoga students that will really help to ease that pelvic girdle pain. I know because I've had pelvic girdle pain since I had my children over 20 years now, and I've learned some things along the way that have really made a difference, not only for me, but also for the yoga students that I work with. To find out more or register, go to pelvichealthprofessionals.com. Oh, and a little insider secret here. It's actually less to join the entire membership for the month than it is to sign up for the workshop. So I would say sign up for the membership. That way you have access to the workshop as well as all of the resources inside the membership. I want to give a shout out of thank you to Mary Donovan, who really inspired today's episode, and also to Sinead O'Connor, not the singer, but Sinead O'Connor from our team, the other Sinead O'Connor, for joining me and reading through these. It was such a fun time to read through these. We could not hold back our laughter. We hope that you get to laugh along with us. And I also want to give a shout out of thank you to the team over at Schedulicity for helping me to keep my calendar organized and for also helping all of the yoga teachers and studios out there who want to stay super organized with their scheduling. Let's hear the hot tip of the week from the team over at Schedulicity.
Hello, Connected Yoga Teachers. This is Allison with the Schedulicity Hot Tip of the Week. Nervous to declare yourself a master of a new yoga niche? Schedulicity makes it easy to try it out. Edit your business listing and feature your new focus prominently. You can talk about your training in your provider bio while introducing yourself and your expertise. Add classes, workshops, or one-on-one appointments that highlight your specialization. Then, spread the word to your clients and watch your new offerings fill up. You'll be surprised how many people can't wait to grow with you.
Thank you so much, Team Schedulicity. Okay, Connected Yoga Teachers, you know those moments in class where you get your left and right mixed up, or you wonder if you forgot to do the entire slide, or you cue something and your mouth makes words, but your brain was thinking of something else, or all kinds of things can happen in a yoga class. Sinead and I share a couple of personal stories near the end of today's episode, but mostly it's all connected yoga teachers from inside our Facebook group sharing their funny stories. Thank you so much to everyone who sent one in. And if you feel like, oh my gosh, I want to get in on this, I want to read through the whole thread, we'll make sure that we link to it in the show notes. So you can go to the connectedyogateacher.com/214 to find that. And you can also submit new ones. So if you submit one in that thread, make sure to tell us the name that you prefer us to use if we share it, and tell us that we have your permission to share. And even better is if you want to leave us a voicemail and send in the audio of your story. I think that would be so fun to hear the voices of all of our connected yoga teachers sharing funny, awkward, embarrassing, all of those stories. We're here for it. If you go to theconnectedyogateacher.com, then there's a button over on the right-hand side that says Leave a Voicemail.
Hello, Connected Yoga Teachers. This is Suzanne, Shannon's podcast editor. Before we get started with this hilarious episode, I want to give you a quick warning. Due to the nature of the content, you'll hear a few curse words. So if you have little ones around, you might want to put your headphones on. Okay, enjoy the fun.
Alrighty, let's dive in and hear some funny and embarrassing stories from fellow connected yoga teachers. Hey Sinead, it's great to have you here today. How are you?
I am good, thank you, Shannon. How are you?
I'm good. I feel like this is a perfect way to start a Monday.
It really is.
I'm excited because Mary Donovan, a long time ago, so let me check here. Mary Donovan posted in the Connected Yoga Teacher group in November of 2019. So this is the world before the pandemic hit. And Mary just said, this embarrassing thing happened. Has anyone else had... She didn't even ask for us to share other embarrassing things. I think Mary just intended this as, this embarrassing thing happened. Haha, like, let's all laugh at this. And the post blew up with other yoga teachers sharing their funny things or just laughing all together. And so I'm so excited that we asked for permission from Mary and anyone else in the post if we could share these on the podcast today. And we'll try and get through these, but we're definitely going to be laughing. And just so everyone knows, we're laughing together on this. Okay, so Mary's first post that started all of this. Mary says, so this happened. While teaching tonight, I meant to say, take a strap, but somehow it came out as take a shit. After a brief pause, did I hear that right? There was a burst of laughter. Wednesdays are long days for me.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
And Sinead's going to share some of the comments that we're going to go back and forth and share some of the other comments from yoga teachers.
So Eva-Lotta, who posted, I think, just right after Mary, because theirs is on a similar tone. I've done that. I said gently shit on the floor from a squat, no less, instead of gently sit on the floor. Then I quickly rambled on. About, no, don't do that, please. We mop so much in here as it is.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. Thank you, Leva, for that one. Okay, Lori says, so this is Lori Nudson March. Thank you for sending this in, Lori. Lori says, I was leading a meditation at the start of a class. I attempted to say first and changed my mind to say start instead. The room was totally silent with everyone deep in their meditation when I simply said in a calm but clear voice, fart. I couldn't even finish my sentence because I was laughing so hard. Silently and with respect, of course.
Oh, Laurie, that one is a howler. That's amazing.
Can you imagine? You know what happens like when you take those two words and you mix them up, but when you go in this calm and confident yoga voice you've been really working on. Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. Okay, so we've got Rebecca Stone who sent in her comment. Rebecca says, I have a friend who once meant to say practice spinal extension, but instead she said practice spinal erection.
Oh my gosh. This is good, Rebecca. Okay. Kimberly Krebs sent in this one. I teach an adult flexibility class and noticed that my sock had a hole in it. I accidentally blurted out, I have a hoe in my sock. Oh my gosh.
Oh, dearie me. And then we have Gail McMahon Cannell. I hope I'm saying your name right, Gail. Gail says that she once said shit to the right instead of shift to the right. Oh, well.
This one seems to be one that catches us a lot, whether we're going to say strap or sit or shift. All very close. Oh my gosh. Kim Lan. Kim is from Okinawa, Japan. Okay. So Kim says, one time I meant to say, make sure to hydrate after class. But instead, I said, make sure to moisturize. I was obviously thinking of facial wash.
Which is great advice. We should all moisturize more. So Jean Fletcher sent in her comment. Jean said, place the block upright under your scrotum instead of sacrum. And she got a lot of muffled giggles for that one.
Oh my goodness. I wonder if, I bet our students would have a lot of things because these are the ones that we've caught, but I wonder if sometimes we just go on saying things. We've all done this, said things.
Yeah, and sometimes you just try and blow right through it, don't you? And think, did anybody actually hear that?
Here's a common one. Amanda says, I accidentally said breast instead of best the other day. Not quite as bad, but still funny, although I'm the only one who laughed. I think what happens with, I know some yoga teachers who really are cautious when they go to say breath instead of breast, but.
Mm-hmm. I can see that one would be an easy mix up. So we have Sandra Ayer sent in her blooper. Sandra says, I once got so jumbled up cueing pigeon that I eventually just said, oh, sorry, just put your leg on the mat. I'll get that cue together on the other leg. When it came time for the other leg, I felt like I cued it much, much better. And I said so. But one student said, I mean, yeah, but we kind of knew it was coming.
You know, those are some of the best classes where the teacher's like, are we on the left side? Are we on the right side? Like, it just makes it feel like, oh, we're all in this together. So
yeah, that's true. Very true.
Yeah. Okay. So Sonia shares, I was teaching a class while fighting off a cold once, and amidst the brain fog and stuffy nose, I said, let's move into downward facing dong. Oh,
you can hear that. I can actually hear that. How that would sound with a stuffy nose.
Mm-hmm.
So Gabrielle says, oh my goodness, my worst was in a class cueing students into bridge. I think the teacher wanted to say something like, lift your back body up into your front body, but it came out as, lift your front bottom up.
There's some confusing cues. Oh, goodness. Dana, this is one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, Dana, I feel like I am going to butcher your last name, but let me try. Gelibert Boltersdorf. What do you think? Do you think I'm getting it, Sinead?
I think so. Gelibert Boltersdorf, I'm sure.
Okay. Dana doesn't give us any hints to the name. Okay. Dana says, once I meant to say ball of your foot, and well, put your balls is what came out. Oh, gosh.
That is a good one. And then Nick Danu says she often gets this cue, find your shits bones. I can imagine that's one of those that's very easy, sits bones to shits bones.
Yes. Okay. Addie McCasaland. Addie says, because when all of this started to come through where we were like, okay, let's redo the thread, then I said, hey, everyone, like we're looking for permissions again. If we can share this, let us know. We wanted to only share ones with permission. And then we also did a revival of the thread when we thought, okay, we need some more laughs. So Addie says, I'm here for the revival of this thread. Last year, I accepted an offer for a class at a new to me studio. It was my first time there and another student's first yoga class. We're about halfway through and I have us all in Malasana, yoga squat. I'm talking us through the engagement from the ground up when the first timer tiptoes over to me. Her mat's in the middle of the room to mine at the very front, and she whispers in my ear, honey, I just thought you should know that you have a hole in the crotch of your pants. Oh my gosh.
That is so sweet, though.
Oh my gosh, it just reminds me of like all those pants. Remember when there was that thing where like some pants were see-through and you could only see when you got doing yoga in them? Do you remember this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh man.
That's good.
This is the best way to start a Monday.
Is that it? Are we done?
Yeah, because that who did we have?
It is. Okay. So, I hope that we can do this a little bit more. I'll definitely link to this thread in the Connected Yoga Teacher group because I think this is good when we can laugh at ourselves. And also, if you have your own, you can send them in to us actually with a voicemail because sometimes it's just better when you tell the story. And you can do that by going to theconnectedyogateacher.com and right on the homepage, there's a button there where you can leave a voicemail. It allows you to leave 90 seconds, but you can just leave a few if you need to get the story out. We would love to hear them.
And I think we'll probably have a whole new generation of online bloopers now that we're mostly online. Well, a lot of us have at least taught online. And there's a few different things. I had one 2 weeks ago where I was teaching a class in the basement and my husband and kids were all upstairs with our small puppy. So I was in a down dog. I was just getting into my groove. We're about 5 minutes into class and I had my eyes closed, cueing everyone through a down dog. And the puppy, Coco, I didn't even see her coming because I had my eyes closed, but she jumped in my face and started licking me inside my mouth. So we have the cue that I use. You use a word to try and calm the dog down, and it's no thank you, no thank you. So I just try to say no thank you, no thank you, no thank you. And I'm in down dog and I couldn't even look at the screen. I was like, I'm sorry, it's my puppy. My husband came running in and pulled her back out. I don't know what it is about animals that you get on your mat and they're like, here we go. And I bet there's a ton of animal stories out there.
Yes, I bet there are. There's somebody, I forget who it was, that posted a video. I'll try and find it, of them trying to just close out their class. And I don't know if it was a cat and a dog or two cats, but they both started fighting near the end. And she's just trying to finish out the class. So I bet there are a lot that way.
I bet there is.
It wasn't a cue, but I feel like the weirdest moment in a yoga class was I was teaching in a church basement, which I often did in early days. Like there were no yoga studios in my area. And so I was teaching in the church basement. I had the entire class in Shavasana, and a man who worked at the church and was coming through to the office stepped over all of my students to get to his lunch pail. and then stepped back over them. And I was horrified. Like, oh gosh, please, no one.
Open your eyes.
I would never do this. And then I thought, okay, if that man comes in again, I have to like stop him at the door and say, like, you can't walk over people.
You have to body block him. You're not coming in. Oh my gosh. But even in like a regular fitness class, that would be strange, right? To just think, oh, there's people lying down, I'll just step over them instead of walk around them.
I know. And it's not like there wasn't space. Like, I know that the direct path was walking over people, but there was definitely space to go around them. The other weird thing that happened one time, I was teaching this hot flow class in we had a very small studio in town, kind of at the back of a massage building. And I would teach there once a week, hot flow. And it was the same group of people coming each and every week. Normally, it was all women who came to that class. Some men would come. We had a new student show up, a man, and he did the entire class with us, but it was crowded in there that day. And so he moved his mat kind of at a different angle to everyone else, which sometimes happened when we would kind of pack in there. So he was closer to in line with me at what had become the front of the class at that point. And as soon as we got to Shavasana, I started cueing everyone into Shavasana. They're all like happy to lie down and just soak it in. And he started doing push-ups loudly, like grunting and doing push-ups. I was like, whoa. And I just remember one of the students just looked up, looked at him like, what is happening? And then she laid back down. And I thought, well, if they're not all bothered by this, I'm just going to let him do whatever he wants to do.
Mm-hmm. I know. So he must have got to the end of the class and thought, I need to burn a few more calories here, or I really need to strengthen my biceps in these last few minutes of class. Wow.
It was so audible. He was like, "Arr, arr, arr." That was one of those moments like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Yes. So send in your stories, Connected Yoga Teachers. We would love to hear them, whether it was something weird that happened in your class or one of the cues that you used. What are one of those things where you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, that was interesting or funny or embarrassing. We'd love to hear them.
I know, that was cool.
My goodness, Connected Yoga Teachers, thank you so much for sending these in, for posting them, for giving us permission to share them. This really was the highlight of my week. Sinead and I have so much fun recording this, and we're so excited to hear more. So make sure to send them in. Like we said, either post them in that thread or send us a voicemail or send us an email through our website. It would be so great to hear from you. Also, a huge thank you again to Sinead, who does so much behind the scenes, from in our Facebook group to scheduling things and really keeping me super organized and making a lot happen behind the scenes. It was so fun to do this episode together. If you want to do yoga with Sinead or connect with Sinead, I will make sure to link to her Instagram in the show notes. Her Instagram is Yoga with Sinead, YYC. Sinead has taken the 20-hour Yoga for Pelvic Health training with me, has also focused in on teaching pre- and postnatal yoga, yoga for healthy aging, and yoga for the pelvic floor. So definitely go over and follow Sinead on Instagram, and maybe you'll even be signing up for a class with her. Speaking of signing up for a class and hanging out together, on April the 30th at 11 a.m. Eastern, we are going to learn how to draw simple and clear stick figures that will help us to draw our yoga, asana, or sequences out. I am so excited about this. Eva-Lotta Lamm was on the podcast a while back talking about drawing stick figures and the importance of it and how it can actually help us to digest information about yoga in a whole new way. And I'm just thrilled that we get to hang out together on Zoom, see each other's faces, have some laughs on a Friday. It seems like the best way to end the week. It'd be great if you could join us. Go to theconnectedyogateacher.com and look under trainings and events to register for that. Thank you so much for hanging out today and sharing some laughs together with us. Thank you also to everyone over here at the Connected Yoga Teacher team for making today's episode possible. Now, I want to know, what will you be doing this week to stay connected to yourself, your yoga practice, and to your community so that you can share the yoga that lights you up?